Welcome to Joint Effort PAs, where two orthopedic surgery PAs get real about life in medicine. From tips and tricks to professional growth, work-life balance, and everything in between. We're here to share what we've learned and what we're still figuring out. Let's get into it. Okay. Rolling into the next episode. Yes. We're pre-recording a little bit because one, we're just too excited to talk about, to wait to talk about what we experienced this week. And also we have trips
lives,
next week.
Damn it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first time. I mean, is it really live? Well, what are you doing next weekend, first of all?
I am going, and I hate to say it like this for anyone who loves the area, I'm going to dreaded Myrtle Beach.
Dirty Myrtle.
Despise Myrtle Beach.
Same.
I despise it. So my kids play in a soccer tournament every year, the last weekend of April. Last year we went. Okay, I'm just going to let you guys a little snapshot into what happened last year. The kids want to stay at a hotel that has the whole thing, the pool and the outside thing and the lazy river. Now, this tournament is very popular because all the hotels are that, right? So you book the hotel in January for April. Mm-hmm. Fine. When we got down there last year, it's a solid 3.5 hours, but usually it's kind of 4 hours. So when we get down there, I went to check into the hotel, with my daughter who's like, are we there? Are we there? Are we there? We get there 8 o'clock at night because let's be honest, I didn't leave until 5, 3, whatever. When we get there, the computers are down for check-in. The check-in line, I did not get to the front desk till 11 p.m.
Sounds like Vegas.
Did not get to the front desk till 11. One of the mothers, thank God, came to take my daughter and just take her wherever. We check in and I go to my room and there's a man in my room. There's a person in my room. Yeah.
You put your key card in and
and
somebody was
laying
in there
on the bed eating potato chips. Okay. So I was like, okay. So go back and I stormed to the front of the line and cut in front of somebody. And I was like, you did do this right. No, I will not go to the back of the line. Right. That's
there's somebody in my fucking room.
You gave me somebody else's key. I've been here for way too long. So did that, get back up to the room and it smells like wet water, right?
Yeah.
It's a dehumidifier, whatever. So
all
it's
Myrtle Beach smells like wet
we
water.
hadn't eaten anything. So I go to Walmart to get something to eat because it was the closest I could find. So I get a freaking apple or something. And I go back to the car and there's someone literally sleeping in the car next to us. And my daughter was like, oh, it's like Myrtle Beach is so great. And I was like, no, this is everything about Myrtle Beach that I hate. So that was last year. So when they said this year, they're like, we're doing Myrtle again. And I was like, I'm going to need to talk to somebody about that.
Can we?
So this year I'm going to leave earlier. I'm going to get down there not at 8 o'clock at night and we will see. But that's where I will be next weekend. What about you?
So I'm going to a conference. But I'm going to half call it going to the conference. I am going to the conference, but it's in Orlando and my sister-in-law is going to meet me down there with my nephew.
Oh, nice.
So it'll be just us two girls and my 1.5-year-old nephew. And I'm going to go to the conference in the mornings and then we're going to go to Epcot one day and have some margaritas in Mexico and whatever other, international beverages exist around the world there.
And you're hitting that right at the right time. It's not like nobody's out of school.
Yeah.
Everybody's off of spring break.
Yeah, it should be good.
Timing. Yeah.
So it'll be fine. I haven't been to Disney in 10 years probably.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing that one park that one day and it'll be a quick trip. We're just there for I'll leave Thursday and come back Sunday morning.
That's great.
But it'll be fun. Yeah. We'll see how he does. I don't know how exciting Epcot is for someone who's 1.5.
Yeah,
not very.
Not.
Yeah. He's not going to be thrilled probably. But I will be after my third drink. So that's what really matters.
Yeah. You'll be ready for all of it. You'll have Mickey ears on.
I'm just not sure at this point in my life. Am I going to be raging around the world or am I going to have 3 drinks and be like, I have to go back to the hotel and sleep immediately?
I feel like it's going to be a little bit of both. I feel like you're going to feel as though you're internationally inclined. So you're drinking a margarita because you care about Mexico. I don't know. At least you will in Epcot. And then you'll want to go over to the next country and now you're a wine drinker. Now you're a Prosecco drinker. I don't know.
Yeah. Now I'm in Japan drinking sake.
Yeah. So I think it'll peak where you'll feel very reflective and then it will nosedive. And that's when you'll say, we have to go back to the hotel immediately.
I'm done right now. Yes. And then have the hand session that next morning.
Yes. Perfect.
So it'll be great. I'm staying at the hotel that the conference is at, which is always a huge plus for me. The past couple of conferences that I've been to that I've stayed somewhere else, it's always a bummer having to make that trek.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice. and just like a little bit of a change of scenery. So I'm excited for it.
That's good.
But needless to say, we'll be away. And so we have to reflect on our exciting new ventures of the past weeks and how we've been leveling up.
Yeah. So we, and again, we got asked this question, but we were asked to speak with the PAOS, the PA Society of Orthopedic Surgery, fellows who also do a podcast. So they had stumbled upon our podcast and, they reached out and wanted us to chat and just, talk about what we do and why we do it. So it's really funny because we started the podcast just for, I think, a creative outlet.
Yeah. It was like,
and now it's not because we're bored. I'm just going to be very clear.
No, but I think it has to do with like, one, I'm passionate about it. So I can't stop talking about it, like just an obsession. Two, like if you're super passionate about something, you want to share that with everybody else.
Yeah, everybody should hear it.
Yeah. And I think there just wasn't something like it where I heard I don't want to call it, not complaints, but like the day-to-day things that you can resonate with. Because I think there's like so often I will walk around the halls here and talk to the different PAs and NPs and discuss our shared life experiences, the things that frustrate us, the things that go well and not so well. And I never heard about those things outside of these walls.
Yeah. But also, I don't know if you follow anyone on like Instagram or whatever, but you will see people post videos of like day in the life, and it's just like a snapshot of what it is. And I'm not saying that that's not accurate, but there's no in-depth, mulling on conversations that affect us every day. Like, I mean, most of the topics that we talk about are real life applications, whether they are us sorting it out or us talking about it. But I don't think there's another platform that talks about what we talk about.
The things that if I were to do a day in my life and be honest about it, it would look nothing like those things.
No, and I could do those things. Like
we should do a day in the life, each of us, to post on the Instagram.
Yeah, it, almost like a parody on
it, but my life is a parody on it.
No, my life is also a parody on it.
You should have done a day in the life this Friday when you had to get your IV.
God, I should have. No, I'm gonna
recreate that.
I'm gonna work on that.
I mean, not in reality. I don't want you to have to go through that a second time. But.
No, but I mean, just for example, a little snapshot. So my youngest, she's 11. She is trying out for the next level up for soccer. She met with her coach this week, which was like a ridiculously long visit, and he told her, if you want more, you have to put in more. Like you have to try harder. I've given you all the tools. You need to try harder. So among all the other things that we do, right? I get up in the morning early and I work out, and then I have this like 30 minutes where I can kind of sit and get ready and whatever. So now my daughter's like, I want to run every morning at 6. I want to do a mile. I was like, oh God, okay. All right. That means I have to get up earlier to do my workout to be ready at 6. So again, I could brand this as like, oh, and then I get to help my daughter. No, I'm like, get up. I don't want to get up. I'm like, you made a promise yourself. Get up.
I'm getting up. So you're getting up.
So then we're running. And she's like, my knee hurts. I'm like, stop making excuses.
My knee hurts too.
My shoes. I didn't put socks on. I'm like, can we finish this goddamn run? I gotta get back to the house. That's all like before 6:30.
It's amazing. But we show up and it's great.
Oh my God. No, I'm going to parody it. It's going to be great. But anyway, no, I think the reason we started this podcast was to talk about stuff like this and normalize it and just give everybody a little bit of a reprieve and escape from, all the things that are serious. Right. Yeah. So, not that we're not professional.
No, we're very professional.
Again, like layering in some clinical stuff, because again, that's what really excites us. So I think we do have a nice little, area in the world where we can talk about this type of real stuff, but also reflect on real orthopedic things. So anyway, enter PAOS. They met with us this past week and they interviewed us.
It was great. It was really cool.
What did you think? What were your thoughts?
Man, so first off, they have a great podcast that discusses more like the clinical topics. And I had listened to theirs in the past, especially when I was towards the end of like my clinical year in school. Driving to and from rotations. It was like short snippet episodes that I could just gather more information, be more well-rounded. So really helpful in that aspect. And I hadn't unfortunately listened in a while, and they reached out to us on Instagram and they were like, hey, We should do a little collab. I'm like, I've literally wanted nothing more.
I know.
Because I think that's also part of our goal with this is like reach and connect with other ortho PAs. And so that to me is like, I'm seeing that come to fruition through this.
And I think the whole tone of what we talked about was more so, us just giving an idea of why we're doing what we're doing. And then, we did talk about some growth within our, our careers and just in the orthopedic world in general. But I think, talking that the people we talked to, they were two males who currently are PAs in orthopedics. And I think there was a lot of overlap as far as what we do, but very different perspectives, as far as what we think that people want to hear about. Right.
Yeah. And I think that might come from just like the practice settings too, and our experiences from that. It's funny because we were just talking about this a little bit with the newer PA that just started in our practice, that we have, I guess I'll say, the fortunate aspect of having a little bit more of a casual environment sometimes, not existing in that hospital world where we get to interact with each other in a more fun way sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll say it that way.
No, I agree with that. But I also think, we only know what we know, right?
Yeah.
And you go to more conferences than I do, but even connecting with other PAs and, trying to get ideas from them, one of the PAs has been a PA for 18 plus years. And we had just offline started talking about like, hey, let me pick your brain about this.
Like,
hey, let me pick your brain about that.
It kind of fires you up a little bit. And this happens to me after I go to conferences or anytime I do something new and different like that. Like what else?
Yeah.
Like what more and what could I be doing differently?
Yeah.
So I mean, like from a growth aspect, because to me, like that's a growth moment. Like we branched out, we did something new, fulfilling a little bit of purpose for what we saw for the podcast. But like growth wise, what do you think? I'm going off a little bit, like for yourself, like what now are you like excited to do more
like
of?
in the future or like currently right now?
Well, both. Short and long-term goals. What are your short and long-term goals?
Well, in my, fake world, I wanted them to be like, do you guys want any opportunities with us at PAOS? Like, do you want to be on staff? Yeah.
We would love to do that.
We would love to do that.
We want to lecture.
Yeah.
We want to do all those
lecture?
educational
Your personalities are amazing.
We're obsessed.
We can't imagine.
We can't stop listening.
Without you. No, I would love at some point to do some teaching, mentoring, leadership, something.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I think that that's big enough where to do that, I would need to be at a place in my career where I would want to stop the face-to-face patient. So I'm not quite ready for that, but I would love to keep, connections to be able to do that. Like I would love to be a shoulder expert, ACL expert, Misha expert, and just give talks on, how this has evolved over my career, even before that, just so, PAs coming in. But I also, and I don't even know I don't even know how to articulate it, but we had talked in that interview a little bit about newer generation PAs coming in and how it's just different. And I think the face of medicine from prior podcasts that we've done, you need to have a certain desire, certain drive that can't be taught. Right. And I think unfortunately, newer generations of PAs, something is lost in what they're being taught. Yeah. They're not being taught like you need to be super productive. You need to want to push yourself. You need to want to level up. So I don't know how to be that person for the next generation.
I know. That's tough because you're right. It can't be like, that is not something you can teach someone. I feel like it just inherently exists in some people more so than others. It inherently
exists less for whatever reason
in
this newer generation.
And I almost wonder, I'm probably I'll be canceled for saying this, but I think
I'm going to urge you
to not be canceled. No, but I think from an educational standpoint, I think just the world has taken, you could look at this from any aspect, has taken a big turn. And maybe we need to find like a middle ground of like, how am I going to say this? So for example, back in the day, like medical training and education, it was like, uncontrolled hours, right? Not safe to a degree, not very safe. You were kind of scared into a lot of things. Like it was trial by fire. You get yelled at. that's how you learn in your OR rotations, not to touch anything initially because somebody's just staring at you like a hawk, yelling at you every move you make. Like, I'm not saying that is healthy or good, but I think that some of those ways of learning really gave people an appreciation for once they got to that point in their career where they were like past that.
Yeah.
So I'm not condoning it. Like, you can call that hazing or whatever, if you will. And I don't think that that's good. But I think then when you take a drastic turn the other way and everything is like, ooh, you have to make sure it's a low number of hours and work-life balance is so stressed. And like, ooh, if you don't feel comfortable with it, you shouldn't have to do it. You should only do what you're comfortable with. And I'm going to hold your hand through every step of the way. That's not how you effectively learn.
Yeah, but that's also not how people break boundaries.
Yeah.
And do new things. Like, nobody's doing new things because they're feeling safe all the time.
I know it's true. And I mean, like, have you watched the new season of Scrubs or the reboot of it? It's actually really good, and I feel like they breach this topic very, very well. Because the original Scrubs, it's one of my favorite medical drama TV shows, comedy, I guess, technically, but I think it's the most realistic. Mm-hmm. And the original one very much touched into that, like, traditional grind. And now this new season, it's bringing in all these, like, I don't know, are we Gen Z? Is it Gen X? Yeah. Whatever generation it is. And they're like, on their phones, TikToking, and they have mandatory nap breaks in the middle of the day. And they're like, ooh, I'm actually not comfortable with this. And, this 60-year-old surgeon who's been there for forever is like, okay, well then, like, get comfortable with it or get the fuck out. And then they report that to HR, and then HR comes to the surgeon. He's like, oh, you can't talk to people like that. And, it's just really, it's interesting. So, but I think there's a middle ground with that. I think too far one direction, and you are basically telling people, like, you don't have to work super hard, just only do what you're comfortable with.
I almost wonder if there's like some future in the PA field where you can, X amount of years into your career and X amount of, I don't want to say accolades, but like, I don't know, let's say you're a seasoned provider. You can then act as a mentor for a new provider. And that's mandatory. Like, you need to be with a mentor until you take your boards for the second time, like for the first 10 years. Something that is it just, I don't know, like in the academic world, because I've been removed for so long, but in the academic world, you've got PAs, clinicians, teaching the new PAs, and they're teaching to a world that maybe doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Or they're teaching not some of the things that, PA class that's like how to survive with your coworkers, how to prove your value. Like, do you think that's any?
No, we don't have any of that. I mean, we had like empathy classes and like
for patients. I'm talking about more like for you as a provider, how to be, and we didn't even get to this on our POS podcast, but like how to develop a good relationship with your surgeon, how to be trusted. That type of thing. That's not even in the rubric. And I think that's so important. And that's the type of thing that a mentor can provide to a new PA. Because you're just, you're just going with what you know. And if your surgeon says, hey, I need you to scrub in for this after hours case, and all you know is to say, I'm not comfortable with that, or I'm scheduled with a family dinner. Actually, and
I mean, like, again, I go back to this, your life is what you make it, right? If that is not what's important to you, right? Then yes, I'm not saying don't like have your work-life balance and your family life and go to your dinner, but you have to be if that is the type of job you want, it's just going to look different than somebody who is committed to doing extra.
But if you want
and growing
this role and you want to be important and you want to be valuable, then these are decisions you have to make. Like, maybe this is a defining moment where you skip the thing that you had to
especially early on.
And I just don't think that PAs have a good, they don't have good direction with that. I would like to play some role in that in the future. Just I don't know, something that just helps strengthen the field in a different way that you would think.
Yeah, almost like boot camp. You need to have like a PA boot camp where you like harden people.
5-day course.
Like,
we do a ropes course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we really just harden people the fuck up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'd
Like,
love to do that.
yeah, we
Oh my
actually
God.
should. Joint effort PA boot camp.
Oh, we have 3 days. I think 3
It'll
days
be like a Spartan race.
3 days is the sweet spot. Oh my God, we should do that.
Wow, it's happening.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like it, for me, from a growth perspective, I think it's like a lot to, I feel like I'm still in this place where I'm still super early on. Like I want to continue to get, I don't like the word comfortable, but I want to continue to just build myself in the actual PA role that I'm doing. But I do like really enjoy the idea of growing as far as like procedural capabilities in the OR, especially. Like I think initially that was my place of discomfort during school. And now that's my place of comfort and where I really feel like I thrive and enjoy things. And I love like learning new techniques, and I love being a part of big complex cases. And so I foresee myself just wanting to grow in ways that make me perform more in that aspect, which can be hard as a PA to kind of navigate because you do ceiling and cap out a little bit with some of that stuff, but there's ways for it. Yeah. So
now the 2 providers that we had talked with in the interview, they also do some managerial type stuff. Do you have any desire to do that?
Not necessarily. I don't know. I mean, I think I actually had some managerial experience prior to PA school when I was managing our athletic training department. And I mean, it's for some people and not for others. I felt like I was too much of a people pleaser to be a super effective manager. And I'd never wanted to make people do something they didn't want to do, which came back negatively to me most of the time. So I struggled with that. I mean, there's certain aspects of it that I did really like because I liked being able to make decisions and give input. But I don't know, to me, that stuff, the teaching and the managing aspect of things doesn't quite excite.
I don't know if I told you this last week. We have a student right now, and he's doing his surgery rotation. It happens to be orthopedics, which is not all inclusive of surgery, which again, that's not on me, that's on their school. But, this is week 3, we're halfway through a 6-week rotation. So I was like, hey, what do you like? What do you not like? And he was like, I think I struggle in clinic. And I was like, okay, that's reflective. You should, because this is a subspecialty within a specialty in clinic. Yeah, you should struggle. And he was like, no, I mean, it's not quite that. It's just that, like in this workspace, there's 3 providers, everybody's trying to dictate and talk, everybody's asking for something. It just feels like it's just like a lot. And I was like, oh my God, like where are you going to thrive?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to, in what world do you think it's going to be quiet and you can see one patient?
Dermatology. Just kidding.
No, that's what I thought. But you see one patient and then you can mentally dictate end that patient, and then you very comfortably move on to the next one. Like I guess what I'm saying is the perception of what it should be in the reality, this seemed to catch this person really off guard.
Yeah.
And I was like, like again, that got me back to thinking like, what is not being taught to these people? And again, I remember doing clinicals. You do clinicals and you get out there and you're like, oh, this is internal medicine. Or like, this is surgery. Oh, they say long hours. Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that, but I just...
So part of PA boot camp could be an immersion room where you just are overstimulated with shit all the time, and you either like learn to zone in and focus on what you need to focus on in the midst of it. Kind of like how they train dogs to be desensitized.
Oh my God. Yes.
Like the bomb sniffing dogs at the airport. Ignore everything else going around you, do your job.
But I guess linking that back to, managing people and teaching, like I just, I want to put in enough effort now to make it easier for that provider. Like I want to be a mentor for that provider and be like, listen, buddy, my best advice to you based on this 3-week rotation, do not go into surgery. Do not go into emergency medicine. If this is overwhelming for you in a clinic setting, I mean, imagine being in the hospital. When I first got in the OR and the sound of the suction, or the sound of the beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, it really bothered me. I don't even hear it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to hear other people talking, and that was a huge stressor for this person. Like there should be someone who's working with you that's going to guide you to not go into fields where you're going to be overstimulated.
Yeah. You may not thrive when the person's snoring really loud and the suction's going off and the surgeon's yelling and throwing something and then
every shoulder case. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah. So any other reflections from the PAOS?
I thought it was just really interesting to meet with some like-minded PAs out there that are kind of trying to pave the way in different aspects. And, you know, they're in, where were they? Atlanta and Colorado. So it's always just refreshing to find people that are on your same boat, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
They resonated with a lot of the things we had mentioned in our podcast. And this is part of the reason we started our podcast, is so that we can talk about the things that we find similarities in and like, oh my gosh, this happened to me. I feel like this all the time. Oh my gosh, I had this experience today. I've had that happen before.
Yeah.
And it's not just us, apparently. There's a whole world of other people out there feeling the same way. Yeah. So we're ready to hear from all of you. We want all the PA friends that are having the same feelings.
You and I, we know PAs that have worked here and now are elsewhere. I just love to geographically hear about those that are working in the same field elsewhere, you know, because it always, I mean, I have my idea of what it is or what it isn't, but it's always nice to hear from someone like, oh, what do you mean you can only see 24 patients a day? That's never been asked more of you?
Like I guess you work at a hospital is probably what I'm gathering from that.
So this new PA that we have here, meeting with him, you know, every week, and he says, oh, well, you know, we can meet Tuesdays. You guys are in sports. Your cases don't go too late. And I was like, oh, that's cute.
Oh, thanks.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, that was a great turning point for the joint effort PAs, and hopefully we will continue to level up as we have been talking about.
Gain new opportunities. Like I can't wait to see what else we're going to do this year and what other kind of realms that we are going to break into and other lives that we are resonating with. So hopefully
so many things.
But we will repost that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
I don't even know how to do that.
I don't know either, but it's going to happen.
Okay,
so
perfect.
All right. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Joint Effort PAs. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow PA or med-minded friend. You can also follow us on Instagram at Joint Effort PAs for updates and extra content. See you next time.